Hey guys, Crafty here from Living in Beta, and today we are back with another video focusing on the free DLC CD Projekt Red dropped in patch 1.5 of Cyberpunk, of course. In this video we will cover off the four main free DLCs, giving you an overview of how to access each, how they work, and our general opinions on them overall. Of course, there are many more secrets that have come with the patch, but we're saving those for another day. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for that kind of video. Also, let's give a shout out to the next gen update as well that we've all been waiting for. My Cyberpunk on the Xbox Series X is looking crisper than ever. This is definitely a good step in the right direction for Cyberpunk. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first DLC we're going to cover in this video is the Night City real estate, is what I'm calling it, which essentially is the inclusion of 4 new apartments around Night City, as well as the ability to do a makeover on V's main apartment in the mega building H10 atrium. So you can see here on most doors it says rent paid. A little Easter egg as well, it does show up sometimes on other doors, which is quite interesting. I saw one earlier on another playthrough where it said the rent was overdue by 80 days. That's quite a little interesting nugget of information. But firstly, let's go into the apartment and showcase what changes they've actually made. Excuse the pile of love heart rubbish there. I think that's part of another DLC that we'll look into. But firstly, what you want to do is go to your computer. Now, we can finally access the internet on the computer, and it's actually got some relevance more than obviously adding flavor to the lore. And you'll see this easy estates option. Within here, we've got two options. We've got the for rent button, which showcases, of course, the apartments we're able to rent and where they are in Night City. And then we have the makeovers button, which also showcases the different looks we can give our apartment, our main apartment that we're in right now. So just for reference, we'll change it to Lunar Tranquility. This, of course, costs 10k a pop, so bear that in mind. Not that expensive, but maybe something you don't want to do straight away when you first start the game. And you can see here it's made a very drastic change to the apartment, making it look more like a spaceship of sorts, like we're on the moon, I guess, hence the name. And these customizations, of course, add a lot of flavor. The whole point for them, CD Projekt Red mentioned in the stream they gave, was to add to that RP level of your character and give you that more customization that allows you to feel more at home in your apartments. Sadly, this is not something that applies to all the apartments you can rent. This is only for the main apartment here. Maybe it's something they're testing or something they can do down the line. But for now, it's just for the Meg building H10. Now, in terms of showcasing the rented apartments, we have already done a video of this on the channel, which we'll link down in the description. But for reference, I'll take you to my favorite, which is the Glen, and showcase some of the buffs that you get from having your own apartment. Let's head there now. Right, so as I said, we're going to be focusing on one apartment so far out of the 4 apartments you can purchase, and that is my favourite, which is the one housed in the Glen Haywood area. Now, firstly, it's important to note that you can see these 4 apartments that you can access via your journal. In the start menu, it has its own section now, and you can see the 4 apartments themselves showcased in this section, as well as the makeover option that we've obviously showcased already in V's main apartment. You'll complete these quests as you purchase the properties. You can also see a little bit more details around the apartments themselves, a little bit of history, and the cost, of course, with the Corpo being 55k the most expensive, the Glen being 40, Northside being the cheapest at 5, and then of course Japantown at 15. We'll be focusing on the Glen, as I said. Now, although you can stumble across these apartments in your playthrough, and probably that's what it's intended, of course the quests showcase where your apartment actually is and would give you, the directions of how to get there. The first closest fast travel point for the Glen initially would be at the El Coyote Kojo, but eventually once you unlock all apartments, you'll get your own fast travel point outside, which is very handy. Now, the reason for just showcasing one, as I said, we've already done a very extensive video on this, which will be in the description. But also, I want to focus really on the benefits you get from having apartments. So what you'll do first is you'll come to your designated apartment, and there'll be some way of purchasing. When it comes to the Glen and Corpo, it'll just be a hand scanner. like so. You'll purchase the apartment and then you'll get the access key. You'll then enter the elevator or equivalent door and head up to your apartment. I think this is going to be something they're maybe testing out for now to see if there's any new apartments they can put in the game, or maybe in the future add a lot more customizable options, even maybe putting your spouses into the apartment, or multiplayer, which we would love, of course. But I think this does add to the RP flavor of the game. And when you enter the apartment, you'll get this little showcase of what it's about. For example, the Glen one saying, when tradition meets modernity, a designer loft with an unbeatable view, giving you kind of a little snippet of what you're going to get inside. And then when you enter, you get the apartment. Now, each of them have their own unique style. Obviously, their own unique area as well, focused on depending on where you like to hang out in Night City. They all have mostly decent views. Obviously, the more you pay for, the better the apartment will be. And then each apartment as well have a range of interactable objects, and this is what we're going to kind of focus on. You'll get the initial ones for flavor, like in the Glen, for example. You're able to play a bit of pool, potting a white on a white, which is weird. Mist as well, which is also excellent. And then you get the other added flavors, like the TV, of course, be able to put music on and the odd consumable around. And everywhere will also have, of course, their computer. The main things, though, is the buffs that you get from these buildings. So firstly, the Corpo and the Glen, from my knowledge, I haven't been able to find them in Japantown or Northside. You'll get a coffee machine, which of course makes coffee, but the benefit for this would giving you the energized buff, top left hand corner by your health bar once the animation is finished. And this gives you a plus 25% max stamina and a plus 30% stamina regen, which of course is very, very cool and very handy. And then generally going upstairs or anywhere in your apartment, essentially where it's housed, you'll get the bed, which you can sleep, of course, and gain the rested bonus, which gains a 20% skill XP increase. So that's not general XP, that's skill increase. So that's more, your general skills and your attribute points. And then you'll have the shower as well, which would give you the refreshed buff, which allows you to regenerate health during combat. If you do possess, though, the regeneration perk, then you also get your health regen rate by 20% and the actual threshold of your health improved by 20% as well. So that's some added benefits of having the apartments. Now, of course, you do get these in V's main apartment, the bed and the shower at least. I haven't managed to see a coffee machine in there, but again, you may be able to find it. If you do, let me know down below in the comments. Of course, every apartment as well will have its own stash, this one being the coolest looking in my opinion, where you can obviously house all your guns and armor pieces as well as consumables, and these all link to each apartment throughout Night City. You also get the ability for the things to be shown on the wall. They have said that it's more likely weapons will be shown on the wall now. You can see I had a lot more weapons in my stash that are actually shown on the wall, but those elusive or exclusive, weapons will show on the wall for your viewing pleasure, which is also very good. So yeah, that's the apartments. Again, as I mentioned, you're not able to customize it in terms of the way it looks. Just to confirm here for you, you don't have the ability to even access that menu in this computer, which is very interesting. Maybe down the line, once they see how many people use the customization option in the main apartment, they'll do it. But for now, it's not there. But yeah, take a look at our video where we go into more detail on the other apartments. Maybe try out and see what you like before you purchase it. Of course, they're a one-time fee, but 40k or 55k may be a lot at the start of the game. So yeah, let's get on to the next free DLC. Now for the next one, we're going to remain in the Glen apartment and we're going to head up to the shower room. This again can be accessed in any apartment, including the main one. And this is the ability to customize your character mid-game, which is something we haven't really we have never been able to do before, and a lot of people were asking for, right? So you'd go to your mirror in your bathroom and you would of course have all the same options of stop looking or changing facial expressions, but you also get the option now to change appearance. Now this will give you a lot of the options you had when starting the game, from hairstyle to hair color, eye color to eyebrows, of course, going all the way down even to piercings, teeth, eye makeup, etc. I don't think, let's get rid of that. You also can customize the other sections of your body as well if you need to. Obviously, you can't change the sex of your character, which is something that some people have asked. That would obviously be a bit extreme anyway. But the fact you can maybe change your character's look depending on the mood you're in, or even you could progress your character in an RP state of them looking more rough and tumble at the start, and as they get more money, they get improved tech or, you know, hairstyles, etc. It's a very cool thing, and it's something that they should have maybe added anyway. But hey, the fact they've added it now is a great thing. I have seen some comments out there mentioning that maybe they should have put a barber's in or something of the like, which again would have added some flavor, of course. But the fact you can do it at home in your mirror is also very handy, and it also gets some more use out of these new apartments, right, and your main apartment anyway. But yeah, there's not much else to showcase here. They have also, you know, added a lot more in terms of how to customize your character with different beard colors, beard styles, facial scars, piercings. There's a lot of makeup options as well that weren't always there. Hairstyles, there seems to be a lot more, and even hair colors, there seems to be a lot going on as well. Lots for you to play with, really, and just kind of customize how it suits you. I recommend giving it a go, changing it, your mood, as I said. RP seems to be the big focus for them right now, so yeah, check that out in your bathroom. Let's get to the next DLC. Okay, so the next free DLC is something that's quite a drastic change, really, in terms of weapon shops, and that is the change to Wilson's shop, more specifically, named What's New at Wilson's. Now, this does actually have an effect on most weapon stores in terms of the availability of items in that store, but more specifically, it's focusing on Wilson's, as you can see. So, of course, we're at the Mega Building H10 Atrium, where your main apartment is, and then Wilson's is just down a level to access. You'll then see the outside's been changed. You've got different types of weapons advertised now here, with lots of sales memorabilia and posters up expressing that there is some new stuff on board. Now, it's focusing solely on not only new weapons, there's 2 new weapons and colours, but also they're looking at some 4 or 5 new scopes, and then lots of new weapon attachments as well in terms of muzzle brakes and things like this. And there's been a lot of mention as well as, can you put silencers and things on pistols? Something that we've always talked about, really. It's something that's actually put me off a pistol build myself, just because, you know, if you want to be stealthy, you're going to need that silencer, but you can actually do that now as well. So what's new? Well, you've got 2 new guns, as I said. You've got the Dab Umbra, which comes in 3 or 4 different colors. You see it's in the rarity, purple rarity here, so the epic rarity, and then you have it in 2 rare qualities as well down here, in the gold and the orange. And then we have a submachine gun named the Guillotine, so you can see them here. Purple versions, of course, of the Guillotine here, in a yellow color, a red, and a kind of off-red color as well. Both guns are very cool. Submachine guns is something that, you know, not everyone focuses on, which is cool to have an option there. And having a new assault rifle as well, with like a headshot damage multiplier, for example, by 100%, that's very cool. And purchasable through Wilson's is also a cool aspect. And then in terms of scopes, a couple of new ones, and you'll notice them anyway from the way they look, because they're different to what used to be there, right? So you've got the Handyman, which looks very cool. You've then got Zhu. You've got the Kansugu, which also looks very cool as well. And then there is a sniper scope. This should be here as well. The Gaki potentially, or no, I think it's the Gaki. So that's 4 new opportunities as well to customize weapons that you may not have had. And scopes as well, I don't know if you're like me, but they're very hit and miss. They don't really add a lot. And I think I settled on 1 or 2 scopes naturally, especially for shotguns as well. It's kind of irrelevant, right? And then the muzzle brake situation for pistols. Obviously it's quite easy. It's quite hard to kind of showcase this just because of stock levels in his store. But you've got one here, which is brand new for an SMG/assault rifle, increasing the ricochet angle by 10 degrees, and ricochet chance by 20%, recalls as well, and halves the crit chance. They've added more flavor to these items. You've got some trade-offs, but then you've got the ability to customize it in a way that suits your playstyle. So it's a great addition to the game, and I think it sets a precedent that maybe characters like Ripperdocs, for example, or armor vendors, clothing stores, they could be customized long term to really add a little bit more flavor in the game. I do believe these DLCs are there, free, not that big, just because they're trying and testing out different flavors to see how the audience finds them. And it's more content is only going to be a great thing, right? So yeah, check out Wilson's when you can. The only caveat here is obviously you need some dollar, but also you need to be in Act 2 to be able to access these upgrades. And then of course, if you wait 24 hours, which I'm sure you can do just outside here, his stock should not only replenish, but maybe the rarity or the colors can change as well. Let me just double check while we're here, which always adds to the idea that stores have random loot tables, right? So you can see, first and foremost, we've got some different muzzle breaks now in the Babaroga and the Yokai, which is cool. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have any of the new weapons, which is interesting. So obviously he sold them out in this last 24 hours. You do have the new scope still as well. So yeah, give it a try out really. Check out all the new muzzle breaks. Maybe you can start building a pistol build like I am now, because the game is customizable enough for you to do that. And let me know how these new weapons feel. Any weapons you like, any new weapons you would like out there. I would personally like some more snipers and maybe some more focus on snipers in perks, but that's something we can look at in a different day. So yeah, let's move on to the next free DLC. So the last DLC brings us to one of Johnny Silverhands' flashbacks, and it's something that they've been talking about adding to the game for a long time, but finally CD Projekt Red are appreciating photo mode on another level really. So what they've done is they've added in a lot more poses specifically for Johnny himself. Now obviously to enter photo mode you press in both analog sticks, or there'll be the equivalent button on PC, and you'll go to the pose section of this menu. Now you've also got obviously different categories etc that you can look at. If we look at idle though first, you'll see that if I just show and hide this, you'll see the different poses they've added for Johnny. So you've got the point, the microphone pose, which is sliding on his knees, you know, getting into a song, leaning forward. We've got ourselves just a general, you know, all the women don't know what to do kind of pose. We've got the rocker stance, which is one of my favorites. You can see there's going to be a lot of good photo mode pictures with this. We've then got Johnny and his guitar in various different ways, of course, which is pretty cool. And then this is my overall favorite, him doing, you know, the giant air chop with the guitar itself. So pretty cool if you ask me, and there's not many else for Johnny. These are all set specifically for Johnny himself. I will say that there is actually more poses just for your normal characters out there. There's things like being able to use Johnny's guitar, or popcorn, selfies, things like this, and they've added that fully for just the general characters as well. The only caveat with these Johnny ones is they need to be in a flashback, right? And there's only a couple of flashbacks during the game that you'll need to make the most of when using this mode. That being said as well, there's obviously still the action poses. Johnny, for me, still has his own specific ones, but they're only very limited, as you can see, where V would have a lot more different rifles, different poses, etc., depending on the situation. These are more focused around what Johnny would be dealing with. So yeah, that's all 4 of the free DLC that they've obviously added into the game. As I said at the start, there's lots of extra secrets and little changes they've made in this patch that we'll be looking at various different times. Things like the combat AI and crowd improvements, etc., something that's massive. Not really a DLC though, but some massive changes. And of course, as we mentioned before as well, the next gen update is massive. Adds the just better quality for the game, and Cyberpunk and Night City itself has never looked any better. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Let us know what you were enjoying about patch 1.5 in the comments below. Any of these DLCs tickled your fancy? Anything you think that could be maybe signs of things to come? Let's have a chat down in the comments. For now, if you like the video, drop a like, share with your friends and family, subscribe for more content like this one, and remember, don't be a gonk.